Good afternoon. Today on Customer States What, we have a 2010 Cadillac SRX. What are we doing today? Well, guys, we are replacing some front lower control arms, some front sway bar end links, and we're also going to be replacing these top hat bearings for the struts. Very good. Let's get into it. Come on, Clip. You gotta get out. And we're removing that trim piece on both sides, guys, so we could gain access to the top of the strut. We're gonna spray some PB Blaster on those threads and let it sit for a little bit. No, let's take it up top. So now that we took it up top, we're gonna look around at what needs to come off. We're replacing this guy right here, so we got to take it off there, and we got to take it off the sway bar. We also got to take these bolts out here because we are removing the entire strut assembly. So since we're removing the entire strut assembly, we're going to have to take all these harnesses off the strut. We're also going to have to disconnect the height sensor right here for the headlight leveling system, and that's probably for the suspension as well, but I think it's more for the headlight leveling system. That's the driver's side. Now let's take a look at the passenger side. Same exact work is going to have to be done. Sway bar end link, harness and whatnot. We're also replacing the control arms. So we got some mounting hardware right there. We also have two very large bolts that mount the control arm to the subframe. And we also have the ball joint. We sprayed down all our hardware. So let's get to dismantling. Now this little tit right here, guys, does not come with the new control arm. You have to transfer it over. And we're out. Very good. Well, we have both links removed out of the vehicle. I have my special tool bungee cord in place because we're going to take these two strut bolts out that hold it to the knuckle, and we do not want to hyperextend the CV joints. So that's why I install this here bungee cord so it doesn't flop forward and hyperextend one of those joints. If you hyperextend one of those joints, you're gonna have a bad day and you're gonna have to attempt to put it back together, and sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. So guys, this is a first for me. I have never seen splined strut bolts. It's like a wheel lug stud. I've never in my entire career have seen that. But then again, I don't normally work on Cadillacs or GM products, so I don't know if this is normal. Guys, let me know in the comments, is that normal? Is this OEM? Is this factory? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Alright guys, bolts are out of the strut, and this is what I was talking about. You see how this is staying in place right there? Well, if it just floundered over, We'd probably hyperextend this boot right here, and the axle that is now one piece will become two pieces. You don't want that to happen. Well, we need a 24mm ratchet wrench, and we need a T50 Torx to take this nut out. The Torx holds the shaft of the shock, giggity. And then the 24, well, takes the nut out. So let's get this out. Alright guys, we have the whole strut assembly out of the vehicle. We have it on our special I-beam mounted strut compressor. Now guys, if you are uncomfortable ever using this machine, please ask somebody. This is a very dangerous machine. You can get hurt if you use it improperly. As you can see, what I try and do is I try and get it as even as possible and as centered as possible. Our fingers are on 3 points on the top, and they're on 3 points on the bottom. All we're replacing is this top strut bearing. We're not replacing the shock, so all we have to do is just compress this just enough to get this nut out. Let's go for it. Alright, time to get nervous. I do have my safety goggles on, guys. Always wear them. I should have a cup on too. Yep, that's just enough right there. You see how I could wiggle the shock? I took just enough pressure off the spring to where I could wiggle the shock, and now I could remove that nut safely without worrying that this spring is just going to go boing, boing, boing. Very good. So we got the old one out. There's the new one. I just want to show you guys something. I'm particularly proud of this. It's staying up. It's staying up. It's staying up. Very good. Now I can just replace this with no worries. We're in there, guys. Now, alright, that's it. Just take the tension off. And that should be it. Look at that, very good. Now let's leave all these in the exact position because I still have to do the other side. But now, we're all done. Well, we're far from done. We still got to install it and do the other side, but y'all know what I mean. Alright guys, here's another trick. I started getting the ball joint nut off, and the entire ball joint itself started spinning, and I do not want to remove that axle. I'm trying to save some time. So what I did here is I have a screw jack set up on that ball joint, but I do in fact have another screw jack installed on the opposite corner of the rear, because if I'm trying to put weight over here, what's going to happen is it's going to bring the bottom of the car up. So we got to support the vehicle over there so we don't make a goomba move. So we got the new control arm in, and just like the Toyota arms, guys, there's actually a thing on both sides. See? So before you put the bolts back in, make sure those are there. I repeat, there's 2 of them. We got one side control arm all installed. We're gonna leave the sway bar links out of the vehicle because we still have to remove this control arm. And just like before, I got my screw jack right here, and I got another one there for safety. Very good. Let's get that ball joint nut out. Alright guys, so we're doing our double check here, making sure everything that we touched is nice and tight. We got brand new control arms, brand new sway bar end links, brand new strut top mounts on both sides. Very good. So guys, you know what to do. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for further content.